Welcome to Crisis in Perception, where we examine the systems shaping our world, one book at a time. So, F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, it's way more than just a classic novel from the Jazz Age. You can think of it as a surprisingly precise blueprint of the American status system. It really gives us a map to understand the hidden rules of ambition, image, and access. And believe me, those rules are still very much in play today.
Most of us, we read this in high school and thought it was a tragic love story. But if you look deeper, it's actually this detailed schematic of a social system. A system that is brilliantly designed to project an image of endless opportunity, while its real job, its true function, is to protect its insiders.
Okay, so here's the core insight, the real heart of it. These powerful status systems, they operate like an engine. And this engine is designed to do one specific thing. It converts image into legitimacy. Just think about Gatsby's entire operation as a four-step process. First, he has to construct a myth about himself through all those strategic rumors. Second, he displays this overwhelming spectacle, the wild parties, the mountains of fine shirts, the hydroplane. It's a raw demonstration of power. Third, he projects authority, whether he's flashing a card to a cop or name-dropping his Oxford education. And the whole point of all this, the final step, is to gain legitimacy, to get access to that inner circle. So, if that's the core insight, how does this system actually function? Let's take a look at the mechanics that keep it all running, specifically the patterns it uses to insulate its members from the outside world.
This moment right here, it's not really about shirts, is it? It reveals a key pattern, what we can call manufactured desire. See, Daisy isn't crying over fabric. She's completely overwhelmed by the spectacle of wealth. And this is how the system works. It ties our deep emotional need for fulfillment to these material symbols, which does a great job of masking its own moral emptiness.
The next pattern is just perfectly captured by Jordan Baker. When she gets called out for her incredibly careless driving, just listen to the profound assumption that's behind her response.
This isn't just her being arrogant. It goes so much deeper. It's a statement about the system's design. Jordan fundamentally believes that the world will just absorb whatever damage she and people like her cause, and this reveals the system's absolute core function, to protect insiders from the consequences of their own carelessness, no matter how high the cost is for everyone else.
And the final pattern powering this whole system is mythical desire. You see, the system doesn't run on reality. It runs on a longing for an idealized past. Just as Nick observes, Daisy could never live up to Gatsby's dreams, not because of who she really is, but because of the colossal vitality of his illusion. The system literally fuels itself on this impossible kind of longing.
So, how do people interact with a system like this? Well, every system has a kind of user interface, right? A point of interaction. And in Gatsby, the most famous one is that green light burning at the end of Daisy's dock.
This really reframes that familiar symbol. We normally see the green light as a symbol of Gatsby's hope, but from a systems perspective, it's much more functional than that. It's a target marker. Its whole purpose is to keep the goal visible while making the real barrier, that uncrossable social gulf, totally invisible. It's cleverly designed to keep you running towards something you can never, ever actually reach.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from looking at the story this way? Well, this systems-level view fundamentally changes our perception of what's going on.
When we see it as a system, the whole narrative is no longer just about one man's tragic failure. It becomes a case study of a system that is masterfully designed to co-opt individual dreams just to keep itself going. All of a sudden, Tom and Daisy's carelessness isn't just some personal flaw. It's a predictable, functional outcome of the insulated world they live in. They retreat back into their money and let others clean up the mess because that is precisely what the system enables them to do.
Fitzgerald gave us this blueprint nearly a century ago, and it leaves us with a really critical question. What are the green lights in our own modern status systems? What are the visible goals that keep us all striving while hiding the invisible barriers that are truly in our way?
This project is free and publicly accessible. If you'd like to support the time, tools, and research behind Crisis in Perception, you can become a supporter on Patreon. For a longer, audio-based analysis of this topic, see the deep dive linked in the description. If you enjoy this kind of systems-level analysis, please like, subscribe, and comment with books or topics you'd like us to explore next.